Well, hello there, everybody. It's Wednesday? Yeah, it's Wednesday. And I'm outside. It almost looks springy. It should. It's spring break. Yeah, not all done up because it's spring break and I don't have anywhere to go. And I would love to go for a beautiful bike ride on this day, but it's not that I can't, like physically can't, but it's not a good idea. So I'm coming here today to tell you guys why, for some of you who don't know at all, for some of you who have seen me but don't know why, and if you think of me any differently after this, that's kinda, oh well. I still think I'm the same person. I know I am. So, anyways, I am in a wheelchair. Not constantly. Yes, I am. I walked over here. And yeah, I had one video where I was like walking around and stuff. So yeah, it's not like I can't walk. But I have a fainting problem. If you want medical terms, I have vasovagal syncope. But that's your vocab lesson for today. But anyways, no, I don't know why I faint yet. We are still working on that. I am on some medication that raises my blood pressure. I'm not going to tell you everything about me. You don't have to know what medication. But it is a medication that's supposed to raise my blood pressure. Been taking it for a while now. So far, it hasn't done very much. I still faint. But we started at like a 0.1 milligram dose, so we're taking it up slowly. So hopefully that works out. But yeah, I mean, I was also gonna say that to kind of set up what my plan for my next video is. But yeah, so my next video, I've been working on writing a monologue because from being in the wheelchair, I have been treated a lot differently because it hasn't been that way. It started around Christmas this year. So I mean, and I switched schools this year, but to a new school at the beginning of the year, but it wasn't like, yeah, I switched schools. Oh my goodness, I'm losing my train of thought. I switched schools, but it was at the beginning of the year, so it wasn't like in the middle of the year. So everybody saw me walking around, and then suddenly I started being at school in a wheelchair, and I had a heart monitor, and was always leaving class, and so there was a lot of people who were like, what's going on? And some people judged me for it. That's their problem. They can be a judger. Maybe they'll be a judge when they're older, because they're pretty good at it. No, I'm just kidding. But, so yeah, I'm in the wheelchair. It's only, pretty much as needed. I have to be in it at school, pretty much. I mean, I get up and run papers to the office because it's so annoying that Otis is, just so you know, Otis, the brand Otis, is the slowest elevator in the world. You can look it up. It is the slowest elevator ever. Anyways, so I was tired of that, so I mean, I get up occasionally, but they don't want me to fall and crack my head on the cement, and it's kind of random as to when I faint. But yes, so I've been being treated kind of poorly, I guess, by some people who kind of took advantage of the fact that, you know, I have elevator privileges, and, you know, I get to leave class whenever I need to, which I appreciate very much from my school, but at the same time, I appreciate it, and they give me that right because I don't abuse it. I like to be in class. I like to be learning the stuff and not playing catch-up. So I'm writing a monologue about me being in the wheelchair, and just about, you know, anybody in a wheelchair, and if you ever see somebody or know somebody in a wheelchair, about things that you need to think about before you know, Um, you know, a wheelchair is not an object. It is an extension of the person inside it. So I'm not going to rant too much about it right now because I don't want to ruin the monologue or anything. But yeah, so I'm working on that monologue. I might actually have it finished today or tomorrow and get that up. So I would recommend that you share it with everybody, because it's not, and that's not because, oh, I want subscribers and I want all of this fame, and it's none of that. I wish there was some way, because I've told people, like my therapist and whatever, you know, about how I feel when people, you know, abuse the fact that I'm in the wheelchair. For whatever reason it may be, whether they use me as a elevator pass, they get out of class whenever I want to pass, get out of class 5 minutes early, you know, whatever. It's not okay, and you need to think about it. And I'm gonna be honest, before I was in the wheelchair, I knew a friend who, she's an amazing girl, who is in the wheelchair permanently, and, you know, after being in the wheelchair and people treating me the way they have, I mean, I spent an entire day going, oh my God, did I ever do these things to her? Like, how did she feel? And I just, part of me wishes that everybody could experience, you know, like a week in a wheelchair, whether you need it or not, because until you're in the wheelchair, I admit it, until I was in the wheelchair, I did not appreciate what the people who are in wheelchairs, whether it's permanently or whatever, have to deal with. And it shouldn't matter whether somebody's permanently in a wheelchair or not. If they're in the wheelchair, unless they're running down the halls and goofing off, you know, if they're in the wheelchair, you treat them just like a human being. If they need help and they ask for help, you help them. But that doesn't mean you force your help on them. That doesn't mean you take advantage of their privileges. And you treat them like a human being. You wouldn't, for example, if you wanted to talk to me, okay, or I was standing in your way, you would, I hope a decent person would say, excuse me, will you please move? Instead of just moving straight to, and I'm not saying you wouldn't in some cases, but you would ask that at least first, and if I ignored you, which I wouldn't, if I ignored you, then you would maybe grab my shoulders and kind of push me out of the way or something. But you wouldn't just walk up to somebody who's in your way and push them on the shoulders and push them out of the way and let go, right? That's what moving somebody in a wheelchair who's in your way. The handlebars, I view the handlebars of a wheelchair as my shoulders when I'm in the wheelchair. Those are my shoulders. So if you grab onto my shoulders and push me out of your way without asking, you just pushed my shoulders and forced me to go somewhere. And that's not okay in any way, shape, or form. Dude, it is like car central. Our street is not that busy usually. Squirrel. But no, it's not okay in any way, shape, or form. A wheelchair, a person in a wheelchair, and a person standing upright who can run track are the exact same, should be treated the exact same, you know? And I mean, obviously, there's people who are going to be like, well, they can't be treated exactly the same, because then, but you guys should know what I mean. If you're watching this, you should be old enough to realize that it's about human decency, and it kind of shocks me how many people, it sort of feels like to me, don't when they, you know, when they move me around in the wheelchair. So, and you know, I don't think everybody means harm by it. I'm not saying, oh, everybody's out to get me and just using me and, I'm not like that, but, you know, that's why I want to get the message out and have people realize that a wheelchair is an extension of a person. If you don't manipulate a person, you don't manipulate a wheelchair without somebody asking for help. Okay? thank you guys for listening to my rant. I would really appreciate if you would come back and check for my monologue or subscribe so you know when it gets posted, and share it with everybody if you find what I say to be even half true. Thank you. Bye.